You think you know drama? You think you know heartbreak? You think you know betrayal? This isn't the soap opera section of the internet. This is Smackdown. This is the biggest, dirtiest, most twisted ring in the world, and for the last few months, it hasn't been about championships or contracts. It's been about ownership. We've watched Dominik Mysterio transform from the naive son of a legend into dirty DOM, the ultimate agent of chaos. He weaponized his own family's pain. He leveraged the heat of the crowd. He used the very concept of family and love as a prop. But what happened last Friday night? What happened in that main event segment that has the entire locker room boiling over and the WWE Universe on the verge of a riot? That wasn't just heat. That was a calculated, cold-blooded maneuver that shattered the lives of 3 people and exposed a terrifying rot at the core of this business. It started, innocently enough, with Liv Morgan. The revenge tour. Her intensity. Her focus. We all saw the way she looked at DOM. The subtle touches. The knowing glances. It was clear that she was using him, manipulating him, a tool in her quest to take the Women's World Championship. But then, things got messy. The whispered secrets backstage. The matching black and purple gear. The undeniable chemistry that blurred the lines between wrestling storyline and genuine, dangerous obsession. We thought she was the predator, luring him in. We thought she was in control. Then came the curveball. The absolute, mind-bending, illogical twist of fate that is Roxanne Perez. The prodigy. The sweetheart. The one who represented the pure, untouched future of this industry. She appeared on SmackDown, not as a contender, but as a friend. A concerned sister figure trying to pull Liv back from the precipice of ruin. But as she tried to save Liv, she was drawn into the swirling vortex of Dom's undeniable charisma, his ability to make you feel seen, to make you feel wanted even if he's a villain. And last Friday, in the middle of a contract signing that was supposed to solidify Liv Morgan's title shot, Dominik Mysterio stood in the ring, smiled that arrogant, sneering smile, and delivered a 15-second speech that will go down as one of the most disgusting, manipulative moments in wrestling history. He didn't sign the contract. He didn't issue a challenge. He issued a proclamation. He looked first at Liv, holding her hand, stroking her cheek with that infuriating tenderness. He called her his inspiration, his partner in crime, and the reason he finally understood true ambition. The crowd was booing, but Liv was melting. She was his. Then, he turned to Roxanne Perez, who was standing at ringside, looking on with a mix of fury and confusion. And DOM dropped the bomb that shattered the universe. He told Roxanne that she was the innocence he needed, the safety net, the only one who truly understands the loneliness of success. And then he said the words that had to be censored on live TV, the words that I have to repeat here because the truth matters. Liv Morgan is my ambition. Roxanne Perez is my heart. And they are both my girlfriends. The camera quickly cuts to an extreme close-up of a shattered piece of glass on the floor, reflecting the arena lights. The reaction was pandemonium. Liv Morgan's face went from adoration to pure, white-hot, homicidal rage. Roxanne Perez burst into tears, realizing she hadn't just been manipulated, she had been claimed, reduced to a second prize. The contract signing imploded. Liv attacked DOM, Roxanne attacked Liv, and in the chaos, Dominik simply stepped back, hands raised, smiling at the destruction he had sown. He didn't fight. He just watched. But here's the absolute truth, the thing the cameras missed, the one detail that tells us this wasn't just a promo, this was a legal, emotional, and career-ending power move. Dominik Mysterio didn't do this for cheap heat. He didn't do this just to mess with their heads. He did this because he is weaponizing the women he controls to protect his own career. Think about the context. The authority has been looking for any reason to sideline DOM. His constant interfering, his disrespect, his run-ins with everyone from his father to the champions. His position is tenuous. He needs protection. And what better protection than 2 of the most popular, ruthless, and dominant women on the roster? The shocking twist isn't that DOM is juggling 2 women. The shocking twist is that Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez are now, legally and professionally, untouchable assets of Dominik Mysterio. I've been speaking to people. Not commentators. Not agents. I'm talking about lawyers who deal with wrestling contracts. When DOM made that proclamation, he didn't just say it, he showed a piece of paper to the camera crew. A signed, highly specific addendum to his latest contract. A clause that, in essence, makes Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez his designated, non-exclusive managerial team and personal protection detail. This is where it gets sickeningly brilliant. Protection from suspension. If anyone attacks DOM, he can claim they are assaulting his managerial team or protection detail and demand they be fined or suspended. Liv and Roxanne are now his human shields. Automatic title shots. The contract likely contains a clause that any woman designated as his managerial partner is guaranteed a front-of-the-line title opportunity, provided they maintain a certain level of success. He has essentially leveraged his own heat to guarantee Liv Morgan a championship, ensuring she stays invested in the relationship. Asterisk control over Roxanne. By claiming Roxanne as his heart and a managerial partner, he has pulled her directly onto the main roster under his umbrella, separating her from her mentors and isolating her entirely. She is now trapped in a dynamic where if she rebels, she risks her contract status and her career trajectory. This is psychological warfare executed with the precision of a corporate lawyer. Dominik Mysterio didn't just win a rivalry, he acquired two of the most valuable properties in the company and turned them into his personal security force and title-winning assets. Now, let's look at the women. Liv Morgan, she thought she was the one pulling the strings. She thought DOM was her puppet on the revenge tour, but she has fallen into the deepest trap of all: true, emotional dependency. When DOM called her his ambition, he validated her entire recent persona. She is addicted to his heat, to his willingness to commit evil for her. She is now trapped in a vicious cycle. To leave DOM is to give up the title shot she desperately wants and to admit she was manipulated. Her rage in the ring wasn't just anger at the betrayal, it was the terrifying realization that she loved the monster she created. Roxanne Perez, her situation is tragic. She was the innocent outsider, trying to save her friend. But DOM targeted her for a reason. He knows her heart is pure, that she values loyalty and friendship above all else. By forcing her into this triangle, he creates a weapon: jealousy and obligation. Roxanne now feels obligated to protect Liv, and Liv now sees Roxanne as a rival for Dom's attention. DOM has created a permanent fissure in their friendship, ensuring that their energy is focused on fighting each other for his attention, rather than fighting him. The single most sickening piece of footage that night was not the speech. It was later, backstage. A camera caught DOM walking alone. He wasn't celebrating. He wasn't even smiling. He was on the phone, talking to someone, and the audio was just clear enough. He didn't mention Liv or Roxanne. He said, "Yeah, everything is secured. The assets are cooperating. Tell Rhea I handled it." Braun Breaker leans forward, his voice dropping to a low, dangerous growl. "Tell Rhea I handled it." This entire, sick, twisted love triangle, the emotional abuse, the legal manipulation, the public humiliation, it was a Rhea Ripley production. It was the ultimate test of Dom's ability to manipulate. It was a maneuver orchestrated by the women's world champion herself to eliminate two major threats from the title picture without ever having to step in the ring with him. Rhea Ripley needed Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez neutralized. She knew she couldn't beat them both in a fair fight, and she couldn't risk the optics of taking them out backstage. So, she used her biggest asset, her mommy, to create a scenario where her rivals would either be too emotionally compromised to fight or too busy fighting each other. Dominik Mysterio didn't claim Liv and Roxanne as his girlfriends. He claimed them as mommy's tribute. A sacrificial offering to prove his worth. Liv and Roxanne are just two more victims of the Judgment Day's ultimate game: control through corruption. The handwritten letter I showed you at the beginning? It was Roxanne's. It was a letter to her parents, written the day before the contract signing. It talks about her excitement, her championship dreams, and her absolute trust in Liv Morgan. And it ends with this devastating sentence: "I think I can help Liv. I just need to remind her what's real." Roxanne was going in with a pure heart, and Dominik Mysterio didn't just break it, he ripped it out, put it on a contract, and used it to sign away her future. This is no longer a storyline. This is an intervention. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez are in a deep, dark place, bound by a contract and the emotional chains of a monster. They need someone to wake them up, someone to show them the real enemy. And that enemy is a serpent with two heads: the cold, calculating intelligence of Rhea Ripley, and the smug, manipulative face of Dominik Mysterio. This is the kind of darkness that stains the ring. This is the truth behind the smiles and the camera flashes. And I'm the only one willing to risk everything to expose it. If you've watched this far, you are seeing the absolute worst of professional wrestling, but you're also seeing the absolute truth. This isn't just a wrestling story, it's a terrifying masterclass in emotional and corporate manipulation. If you are as disgusted, as furious, and as heartbroken as I am about what Dominik Mysterio has done to Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, then I need you to do two things for me right now. First, hit that like button and share this video with everyone. We need to get this truth out there. The WWE Universe needs to know what these women are truly up against. Drop a comment below and tell me, who is the bigger villain here, DOM or Rhea? Second, I know I'm not the most polished guy on YouTube. I'm just a guy who cares about the integrity of this business and the well-being of the people in it. But I can't keep digging, I can't keep fighting the Judgment Day's dirty secrets, if I don't have your voice and your support. So, if you believe in what I'm doing, if you want me to keep exposing the snakes in the grass, please, with every fiber of your being, hit that subscribe button and join the Ring Rumble community. I need you in my corner for this fight. Let's make some noise for Liv and Roxanne.